Hey everybody, One here. Wednesday, March 26, 2014. Turned out to be a pretty good day in terms of Skylander hunting. If you follow me on Twitter, kind of live tweeted the whole thing. My apologies, like a couple of typos on the phone, I guess autocorrect type situations. But when you're cranking stuff out and checkout lines and whatnot, I guess it's to be expected. Nonetheless, if you follow along there, you already know everything. Again, that's why I suggest you follow me on Twitter, and then more importantly, you subscribe to the channel. That way, the minute these videos are uploaded and made live, you're amongst the first to know. Reason it's kind of important, I guess, this time, we'll just start. Number one, I went into Walmart and I came out alive. In the 5 minutes that it took me to actually comb through their Skylander selections, go back to the garden center. Yes, I'm that guy that parks at the garden center to go in and out and check out to avoid all of the lines. Came through, they had a ton of people checking out at the garden center, and then when I went back that way to check out, the person was gone. That said, why was I checking out? Finally tracked this lady down, Enchanted Light Core Starstruck. We're not going to unbox her just yet. She'll be coming up shortly. But took me forever. This is the first time I've ever seen her in my area. Brought her up because there was no special displays, no Easter sightings, nothing along those lines. I was thinking I was going to wind up having to wait some more. My Toys R Us actually has the Easter Skylanders. It's kind of been a hot button issue now. They're street dated for April 6th. Supposedly there was no date, then there was a date, then there wasn't, then there was, and then there isn't. And apparently if you can talk someone into ringing one out, it shouldn't show the street date. I ran it by, wasn't getting anywhere. Quite frankly, I was in a hurry to get home. The Heat and Pacers were playing, and I just figured I'd wait. My issue is, I mentioned this on the blog last night. I didn't put it in the video because I want people to go to the blog. That's why I put some exclusive stuff there, like the pictures. But Toys R Us, if you see the Easter Skylander, Spring Edition Skylanders, they've got a 3 for $20 promo running. That's why I took the time to ask if they would sell them. Obviously, if you don't have Frino, or you plan to get Frino, Punk Shock, and Springtime Trigger Happy, that's a great deal, 3 for $20. Myself and a couple others, it was brought up on Twitter again tonight, I'm not so sure that they're not just lifting the date to avoid selling them on that promotion. But either way, they'll probably have like a 2 for some price deal when they do those, or it might be one of the rare weeks there's not a sale. But the 3 for $20 is actually a really good deal. If you buy all three, Toys R Us, I guess that's like a savings of $10 basically, so pretty significant money there. That said, if you can't tell from the display setup, by the way, Chase McCain is hidden. I probably took 5 minutes getting him to stay there, and now that I look through the camera, he's easy to find. If you see him post up, and cut me some slack because it was really hard to get him to do what he's doing. Nonetheless, if you don't know from the display there, what I'm going to be unboxing is Punk Shock. Punk Shock is kind of a freak deal. I mentioned Frino. Of course, you know, I've already unboxed him. His standard packaging came out a couple weeks ago, and now he is available in this kind of Easter egg packaging as well, spring edition, whatever you want to call it. Which makes perfectly good sense. The weird thing about Punk Shock, and the reason that I told everyone to make sure you pick her up if you see her, she's going to be a hot commodity for the simple fact she has no standard packaging form right now. I'm sure we're going to get one later on. It might actually be withheld until after Easter. Might come sometime before Easter. No one really knows right now. And the reason I told you to grab her is under those circumstances, not only is this going to be excellent, you see what I did there? For people looking for stuff for Easter gifts or to hide, you know, the kids can go track down. Anybody that's wanting to complete their collections is going to need Punk Shock, and since she's only tied in with this packaging, going to be probably the tougher one to find. So keep that in mind. That said, the other reason this is big, just touched base with a few people, skimmed a couple of sites. I've not seen anyone say that they got these at GameStop. Bear in mind, I am in Texas. Basically a day UPS ground. That's how they send most of their Skylanders out of the distribution hub. So there's a good chance that I could have been amongst the first people to actually see these. Given that I'm a day out, if you know how long it takes, you know, Grapevine to wherever you're at, and you're looking for these and your Toys R Us won't sell to you, other stores don't have them. Again, my Walmart had absolutely nothing in terms of the Easter display. Target had no signs of anything Easter related for Skylanders. Oddly enough, they still had 2 Nitro Freeze Blades, so I thought that was promising. But right here, again, I've already had several people tell me I was lying. Again, this is why I avoid certain sites. I don't make this stuff up. If I did that, I would have told you that I bought these at GameStop 3 weeks ago, and then that video would have gotten a crud ton of traffic, and my site would have gotten a lot of traffic. But as is, I do things differently. I only provide you with factual information. Now, as you can clearly see there, I paid $9.99 for it, and you should recognize that logo and the tag format and the sticker placement came from GameStop. My GameStop, I called them because I figured they wouldn't have anything, and it's kind of out of the way with the errands I was running tonight. The guy was like, oh, what are those? You know, I kind of ran it by him. He's like, oh yeah, they're sitting here on the pegs. And I was like, wow, they're in stock? And he was like, yeah, and we just put them out a couple days ago. I think he might have said today or yesterday. So given that, I mean, give yourself a day or two if you know how, you know, I know some people know the exact travel time it takes for stuff to get from GameStops to their local store, so factor that in. Either today is day one or possibly yesterday. Didn't look like they'd sold any of them, so it very well could have been today, but nonetheless, it did come from GameStop. Only issue if you're a collector or you plan to display these, you're gonna have to try to get this tag off. Let's see if I can work some magic here. I think you could do it. I mean, if you really wanted to. It's not pulling up any of the actual printed packaging. It's just kind of leaving some residue, so it's not a big deal to me because I'm going to cut this open. But I know some of you are sticklers for that stuff. Sadly, they're all tagged pretty much at GameStop. So nonetheless, this is a pretty cool deal. This is actually, the packaging is a little bit smaller. I don't know if you can kind of gauge from the profile. Right here, this is a Giants figure, but I mean, it's the same thing. This is the Special Gill Grunt. You can kind of see, I guess it roughly protrudes the same, but it's got like a little more, I don't know, slim, sleek design, I guess, if that makes any sense to you. Other thing to note, backing it up, I've got these roughly even at the bottom side. You can kind of see significant reduction in the packaging. So nonetheless, they are smaller. They are egg-shaped at the top. Obviously, that's the goal there. So kind of a cool deal that they do. It's just a little bit weird that Punk Shock and Frino hit as the contemporaries to Springtime Trigger Happy, the in-game variant, and they aren't matched up. You know, Frino has standard packaging. Punk Shock does not yet. So kind of would have probably sold these a little bit better if Frino was also, at this point in time, limited to the Spring Edition packaging. But nonetheless, as long as we get them, that's all that matters. I am trying to find a knife. There we go. Alright. But again, I got it from GameStop, $9.99. That kind of recaps the night. More importantly, if you're like me, your local Walmart doesn't have any sight or sound to these things, or you just are like me and you don't like Walmart, didn't see, like I said, nothing at Target, and I did check the Easter areas, everything like that. I went through every possible option, believe me, and Toys R Us, they've got them in there. They won't sell them at my local store, which is stupid because everybody that wants these immediately is just going to go buy them from somewhere else. So, you know, kind of pick your poison there, Toys R Us. But nonetheless, if you've been striking out everywhere else and you're sick of going to Walmart and your Toys R Us won't sell it to you, go ahead now and give GameStop a shot. Now, that said, I think Monday, the 25th, would that be right? I don't know, I'm still kind of off. I think Monday or Tuesday, these Easter edition characters popped up on Amazon.com. They sold out super fast, and then you were left with your basic scalper entries. Now, that said, we're going to go ahead at the 9-minute and some odd mark. Go ahead to actually get to what you care about. But again, I try to provide the information to help you out, save you a little bit of time. But first thing we want to do, note, since she is water element, it's kind of like a blue base for the Easter packaging. It's kind of got like the yellow pastel colors, little designs like you see. Swap Force logo is pretty standard. It just sadly has a GameStop sticker on it. Right there, Spring Edition. What's cool here, that's clearly trigger happy, but he's like popping out of an egg, so that's kind of a neat touch. Again, that is printed, it is not a sticker. Take my word for it. We've covered kind of the funky shape here. It's just a little bit smaller, a little bit more streamlined, and of course, matching the contours up top of an egg. That's actually, I guess, the best way to describe this blister pack is just kind of like egg-shaped. So that's it. Here it is, Punk Shock. Her slogan is Amp It Up. She is, of course, from the water element. She is a Swap Force Newlander. She is actually going to complete the core character collection. That's your basic size Skylanders. She joins Riptide, who you can see here as the two Newlanders to the water element. Now, something kind of cool here. We're going to go ahead. Some of you care about this stuff on the bottom. If you need that information, you can go ahead and like freeze frame the video. I won't read it to you. This is cool though. Coming around here, we've got the typical countdown showcase there. Check out her little inset there. Pretty nice. What I liked and was surprised by though, featured character Springtime Trigger Happy, Frino, and Punk Shock. So that's pretty sweet setup now. Being that she is a Swap Force Newlander, she will only work in Swap Force. She is not backwards compatible. And then of course right here, since it is new, they are plugging the collection vault. Now let's come in here. I'm going to cut this bad girl open. She is a girl, by the way, if you did not know. You will when we cover her background story, if you didn't know. These seem to be packaged a little bit better than the Wave 4 characters. Case in point, it's going to be harder for you to open this up and reseal it. So, again, that's not something I do, so it's not a huge deal. I just try to provide you with that information. Alright, so again, that's the Easter egg. It kind of showcases it to you, and we're going to toss that aside. Alright, these are taped. In the odd event that you actually want to reseal this, go ahead and cut that, otherwise you're totally going to mangle that name tag up. Putting that down, again, what I like to do is come in from the bottom, go ahead and pop her out. Came out really easy there. Now, we've got to set that aside. Kind of interesting, but pull this down, and then very carefully, it's kind of awkward in this new style of packing. You just don't want to like bend the card up too much. We'll throw that aside. What you get is the figure, which we'll take a look at here in a second, the stat card, and then the sticker sheet. Sticker sheet has artwork there for Punk Shock. We've got a name tag for those of you storage freaks. You got a QR code. Below that is a web code for your iOS and Android applications. Now, her power or strength, 100 out of 200. Defense or armor, 100 out of 200. Speed, agility, 80 of 200. Luck, 70 of 200. Add all that up, out of a maximum of 800, she is going to be sitting at, what, 280? 350 out of 800. That's pretty respectable. Sadly, as you should know, these stats don't necessarily correlate over to the game. Now, just for comparison's sake, box stock, her max health will be 270, speed 43, armor pretty high at 12. You don't often see that with the water element characters. Critical hit 8, of course, elemental power at 25. Now, we'll come in here, and gotta say, she's a lot more intricately detailed than I had kind of expected. Now, what she kind of reminds me of, it's almost like a, there's a lot of zap that I see in her, but then she's almost like a female version of Flame Slinger crossed with a zap. The colorations on like her little suit there almost give off like a hint of Freeze Blade. Kind of an odd combination, but I think she might go over well with people. That said, what she's got is basically a crossbow. It's kind of got the nice pointed tip there. It is that cool water element blue color. Gold on the gun, gold boots, gold cuffs there, gold buckle on the belt, backside gold, and then of course the primary colors here on her suit. It's kind of like a I don't know, it looks a little different. I'm not looking through the camera right now, but I would consider it kind of like a dirty purple. I don't know if that makes any sense. The facial features I actually like really well. I mean, obviously, you know, if we take that crossbow away, she kind of looks like a fish, you know, swimming at you. Big ears, she's got the gills, the spikes. Tail looks very intimidating there. Again, a nice contrast, almost like an icy white blue, and then like a you know, royal sea blue or something along those lines. That said, when we cover her background story, you'll kind of get a feel for that. I guess these are flippers, is where I guess gills, whatever they would be called on a fish. Anyway, daughter to the most royal family in wondrous waters. Again, that sounds like a destination we could visit someday in Skylands. Punkshock never really accepted her role as an undersea princess. That's right, for those of you that didn't know or have been waiting to keep this stuff as a surprise, Punkshock comes from a royal family. She's a princess. Hence the gold, hence the purple, two colors associated heavily with royalty. Punkshock preferred a much more exciting life, hunting with her electric crossbow and listening to supercharged music. Not quite sure what supercharged music is, but I don't know, maybe we'll consider it like progressive death metal. We'll just throw that in there. Could be wrong. And, after journeying to the outer reaches of her kingdom to find adventure, Punkshock returned home to discover adventure had found her. The kingdom and its people were magically frozen by the snow trolls. This is another pretty sweet sounding enemy here. Hopefully we can kind of see some more of them. Who were there to steal valuable treasure. Punkshock used her awesomely charged crossbow to single-handedly to defeat the snow troll army and melt the ice that trapped her kingdom. Now, as you should know, certain things make me more akin to Skylanders' background stories. Gilgrunt, of course everyone's favorite Gilman in Skylands, heard of the battle and quickly recruited Punkshock to become a Skylander. So that's kind of how those two rode off into the sunset together. Sadly, apparently Punkshock was not the mermaid that Gilgrunt lost when he was part of the Gilman army, if you still care about that stuff. So that said, this is Riptide. Again, she basically wraps up the new core characters. We're still missing Doomstone. There's Lightcore, Bumbleblast, a couple of in-game variants and whatnot. But two water element Newlanders, Riptide and Punkshock. These two actually look really good together. Seems like they would hit it off, have a lot in common. But Punkshock, I think, it's going to have to be a character that I actually play. The water element's kind of a weird deal. I usually wind up liking the characters when they're fully upgraded, but oftentimes they're not the strongest. They don't really suit my playstyle well. However, I have kind of skimmed her powers and upgrades. Her final base attack, which I think they called hypercharged or supercharged, basically increased her speed. That's a huge thing for me. I haven't really covered it to see if she gets an armor boost. That would also be hugely appreciated. But I think she might actually upgrade pretty well. Kind of a cool deal. Her primary attack, obviously, is a crossbow. Secondary attack, she does something where she throws a water balloon. I don't know. It should be amusing. But the cool thing is, apparently it's one of those tandem attacks where she can throw the water balloon and then electrocute it with her crossbow, which obviously ties in nicely together, kind of makes the balloon make more sense. Otherwise, she should be like Punkshock, the royal prankster or something, Nonetheless, tertiary attack, you heard me mention her tail earlier, that is her tail, it'll sting things. Her two paths, there's Conductor, Constructor, and Electrocutie. That's kind of funny. Again, which those highly reminiscent of Zap. Looks like Electrocutie is going to focus, I think, on the crossbow pretty much. And then I think the final one is actually going to be her tertiary attack, which I'm probably going to be inclined to take that one first. Conductor Constructor focuses on the balloons. But I think the last upgrade down that path actually looks pretty promising as well. So nonetheless, I won't spend too much time there. I will actually try to get her introduction recorded tonight. I'm really, really tired, but we'll see what we can't do. Nonetheless, finally tracked this lady down. Again, Amazon had them show up Monday or Tuesday of this week. They're stocked intermittently throughout the day. It's just really hard to get them because what happens is scalpers buy them all and then basically turn around and sell them. Everyone else is reporting that they're finding these Easter egg displays at their Walmart, and I've seen the pictures. I haven't seen that, and for a lot of people those displays showed up well in advance of the actual spring edition Skylander figures. So if you see those, definitely comb them over, see if you can't find them. Target, nothing. Toys R Us, my TRU has them. They won't sell them until April 6th. I've heard a lot of the same thing from y'all. So if you don't want to wait until April 6th, my advice is try other stores. If you want to wait until April 6th, maybe talk to someone at your store, see if they'll hold them for you. But again, where I got Punk Shock for $9.99 was at GameStop. I've not heard of anyone else reporting that, so that's kind of a cool deal. And it gives you another viable option to check out. Might even just be able to call your local store, see if they have anything in. So, like I said, from what I ascertained from the employee, they either stock these things I guess today or yesterday on Tuesday. So that kind of ties in with when Amazon would have had them, being the 1 day ground, say Monday to Tuesday to get to me. So if you know your proximity from a distribution hub of GameStop, go ahead, check in with your local stores, maybe, try to get on a call list, something along those lines. But she looks pretty dadgum cool out of the packaging. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the colors. I'll have to play her. I'm a pretty big Chill fan. I know a lot of people are not. I am. And then in terms of the new ladies of Skylanders, I'm a big Roller Brawl fan. I've yet to upgrade her, but she's just ridiculous box stock. I like her personality, I like her background story. Nonetheless, Punk Shock definitely has potential. I'll have to see how she upgrades. I'm excited to see how that goes. But again, GameStop, $9.99. Some Toys R Us have them. I guess they all have them. Some might sell it to you. And for those of you that find them at Walmart, more power to you. But I will advocate that you try GameStop, Toys R Us, and Amazon before you do that. So that said, thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, feel free to ask here. I'll do my best to help you out. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, thanks for watching. And as Miss Punk Shock would say, amp it up.